How did one bad decision destroy an entire department? I worked for 9 years at a well-known global company that provided a wide range of products. I started as a technician and worked my way up through consistent effort and strong performance. After 6 years, I was promoted to the National Support Group, which came with better pay and improved working hours. A year later, I moved into a coordinator role alongside a coworker who became a close friend. In this role, I was trained to use a complex internal dispatch system that assigned technicians to service calls. The system had been created by an in-house developer and relied on detailed codes for different regions. There was no manual or documentation, so I carefully wrote down everything during my training. Soon after, the person who trained me left the company, and about a year later, the developer passed away. That left me as the only person who fully understood how the system worked. Because of this, taking time off became very difficult. I repeatedly asked management to train a backup, but my requests were denied. I could only take very short breaks, even though I had a wedding and a 1-month honeymoon planned. At the same time, my coworker and I had taken over a department that was struggling. Repair times were around 8 days, and customers were unhappy. We worked together to improve processes and reduce delays. Our efforts were successful, bringing repair times down to about 2 days. Customers noticed the improvement and gave positive feedback. However, this also increased pressure on the logistics team, which had to deliver parts much faster. The logistics manager supported the changes and hired more staff, so the system continued to run well. Problems began when our manager moved up and a replacement was needed. My coworker and I both applied for the role, but we were passed over. Instead, the job was given to the manager's friend, who had no experience in our department and little understanding of the work. The new manager quickly tried to change our process to reduce pressure on logistics. My coworker and I strongly disagreed, knowing it would increase repair times and hurt customer satisfaction. We explained our concerns many times and even contacted higher management, pointing out our strong performance and high customer ratings. Despite this, our concerns were ignored. After weeks of disagreement, the manager decided that I was the main problem. I was called into a meeting with HR and senior management and told I was being demoted to a dispatcher role for not being a team player and for being confrontational. I accepted the demotion since it meant less responsibility with the same pay. However, the dispatcher role had strict limits. Dispatchers could only assign jobs that were given to them and could not operate the system itself. Since no one else knew how to use the system, no work could be properly assigned. The next day, I followed my new role exactly and waited. After several hours, the manager asked why I was not working, and I explained that I was simply following my job description. It quickly became clear that the system could not function without me. Managers realized the issue and asked me to train someone else, but I refused. The next day, they offered me my old position back and asked me to resume my duties, but I declined, reminding them of the reasons they had given for my demotion. They became frustrated and accused me of causing problems, even mentioning legal action. According to my contract, I was provided with a lawyer, paid by the company but working in my interest. The lawyer confirmed that I could not be forced into a role and could not be fired as long as I followed my contract. For the next month, the system remained unusable. Work had to be handled manually through emails and phone calls, which caused major delays. Repair times increased to over 2 weeks, and customers began canceling contracts. Eventually, I was moved to the logistics department where the manager, who was a friend, allowed me to work without pressure. The situation went to court, and the judge ruled in my favor. The judge stated that a company cannot force someone to perform a role against their will. The company asked me to provide instructions for the system, but I explained that I no longer had written notes. When asked if I would recreate them, I refused, and the matter ended there. After returning to work, I began searching for a new job and soon found a better position with higher pay, improved benefits, and approved time off for my honeymoon. I resigned and explained the situation to senior leadership, including the CEO. 2 weeks after I left, the CEO contacted me to apologize and said the managers involved had been dismissed. He offered me my position back, but I declined. Later, I learned that the former manager had passed away from a drug overdose, which was tragic. About a year later, the division was merged into another because it could not recover. Around 30% of the staff were laid off or reassigned. My former coworker is still there, but says the department never recovered and continues to decline, and he plans to retire soon.